In today's video, we're going to be talking about learning a third language while traveling. As most of you know, I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer who served in Nicaragua from August of 2016 to April of 2018.
My name is Emery. I'm originally from California, and I was a PCV in East Timor, or Timor Leste. And I was a PCV from 2017 to 2019.
As Peace Corps volunteers, we've already been through the experience of learning a language quite rigorously with really high expectations of our ability to interact with our communities, work with our communities. I feel like our approach has been maybe a little bit unique in approaching this third language.
So I'm actually half Turkish. My father is Turkish. So I traveled to Turkey a lot growing up and heard it, but just never spoke the language. After having been a PCV and learning the language and feeling all the things that means from cultural integration, but also cultural appreciation, I'd say. We were talking about how there's certain words in the language in Timor-Leste was Teton. There's words in Teton that just don't exist in English.
Yeah.
And
Same
that,
in Spanish.
it expands your thinking and always connects you to that culture in a way that otherwise you would not be able to be connected. So Turkish was for me, not only my personal family history connection, made it the language was okay, I want to learn that. I want to connect to that more.
Have you found it easier to learn a third language? And I know you've grown up hearing a lot of Turkish.
Yeah, so I would say it was much easier. I mean, other than hearing Turkish growing up, when I was in grade school, we were taught German. When I was in high school, I did French in high school.
Okay.
I never picked up either of those, right?
Yeah.
It was one, maybe the way it's taught in America or whatnot, or also just not really using a language or not living in that culture.
Right.
So my language in service was the first language where I'd ever say I spoke. I was I speak Teton. Understanding of how to learn a language and what it means to use it. In Peace Corps, you have to use it, right? You get home, and if I want to ask for water, I'm I need to know my local language.
Absolutely.
So going into that mindset and understanding whatever it takes to learn a language has made it a lot easier to learn Turkish. And I've actually done an intensive course when I've been here because I'm traveling after this and leaving Istanbul, and it's pretty much doing courses would be Istanbul would be the only place that makes sense. I've done 2 weeks straight of Turkish classes, and that is something I definitely could not have done without PST. PST to some degree is that at certain points too.
Well, we were talking about our language learning schedules during PST a little bit, and at least in Peace Corps Nicaragua, we had language classes from 8 a.m. to noon, and then again from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Yeah, ours was pretty much the same.
I'm not here at this Turkish school every day, but I'm definitely on Duolingo, studying at home every day. And I suppose it gives us a certain amount of grit to be able to do that too, to not give up, because we've been able to prove to ourselves already that we're capable of learning a language.
Yeah, and while in Timor, a lot of the words I started using a lot was I'd hear someone oh, what is that? How do I use that phrase?
Right.
It doesn't literally translate, right?
No,
things you have to understand this is just how it's used, and that is something that I've brought to how I've learned Turkish too, where it's that phrase is what I do when I go into a store, say something that means take it easy, right?
When I hear a new word in Turkish, what I'm asking really is what does it mean, not what does it mean in English.
Yeah.
Because it's what it means in English doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What is the meaning behind that? Just that.
Yeah. How would you use it? How would you use it here?
Why is it important to learn languages while traveling, do you think?
I guess the conclusion bit is important.
It is definitely important. Yeah. We're already assuming that as a baseline.
We're advocates for that in case you can get them.
Definitely learn.
There's the stereotype of Americans that we don't know other languages, right? And we just expect everyone to deal with us only knowing English. And a lot of places you will be people knowing English. We still rely on our English. I'm trying to order food. Could I just get this?
Our friend, she speaks Turkish quite well, and the waiters will still respond to her in English, even though she's speaking to them in Turkish, which is always kind of infuriating.
Yeah. Or they'll bring you a menu immediately that's the English menu, and you'll be oh, I wanted to try the Turkish menu. Can I get that back?
Yeah.
But it's so important. One, so breaking that stereotype a little bit, which it is also the stereotype is bad because everyone's not sort of caring about the culture, right? Not having an interest in the culture and not. We're in Turkey, right? The language of Turkey is Turkish, so we're trying to use it, and that applies anywhere. If you don't know it, you don't know it, but try to do your best to live like the locals, right?
Absolutely, and I think also bringing that back to the Peace Corps context, as PCVs, we're very much taught that we're ambassadors of our own cultures, and I think that's true just for travelers in general. do we want to perpetuate the stereotype that Americans never bother to learn other languages, or do we want to prove that like, hey, no, we can do our best to try and learn other languages as well?
And I mean, all the classes we're in, like this is the school we're at, like it is always a ton of other people from all over the world, and they always know like 3 or 4 languages, and like this is like their 4th language they're learning. I feel like we're doing our best as American ambassadors to be like, oh, we're like also trying to learn.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's interesting too because this actually really surprised me. I wasn't expecting this. Literally, like all of our classmates and all of our teachers speak English.
Yeah, they all speak English as well as all their local languages, or like their national languages, as well as usually one other language. Before even get to Turkish, and I'm like, I'm doing my best to like keep up.
Americans gotta step it up a little bit, for sure. How quickly do you feel like you're progressing? Like if you think about week 2 of pre-service training, did you speak as much Tetin as you do Turkish right now?
Nothing will ever like recreate PST, right? The fact that you're learning a language and then like going home and no one's like speaks a lick of English, right? Like so like I don't think I'll ever probably pick up language as fast as I was picking up Tetin in the beginning. You hit a wall, right? Everyone hits that plateau. That. But like early on, I was picking up quick. Turkish, as we said, I have the benefit of like I've heard it over the years, so I have like a little more of an ear for it. Like I'm not struggling with pronunciations as much, maybe necessarily or something.
Right.
But that said, I do feel like I'm picking up quicker because I sort of see why I'm doing it in a way I don't think you did when you're learning languages like any other point. Because you break the point in your service when you like are like, oh, I can finally converse with people, right? Like I'm finally expressing my thoughts, like I'm finally like breaking down walls through the use of language. And understanding that that's like the prize at the end of the rainbow, right? Like makes it a lot like easier to like stay motivated learning a language. Which I definitely did not have as like a kid growing up learning like French in high school, where I was like, I'm just trying to get a C in this class.
Well, a lot of my viewers here on this channel will often comment and say like, oh, I'm really, really nervous about learning a language for Peace Corps. Do you have any suggestions or tips for like a prospective Peace Corps volunteer who's concerned about language acquisition?
Yeah, I would say like don't be concerned with these things. So like I grew up here in Turkish all the time because I traveled there, never spoke any Turkish, right? Then learned German like early on, never actually learned German. Like learned French for like 4 years of high school, never actually learned French. Like I am not was never considered myself like good at learning languages, like had never picked up any languages to the point of being able to use them. And I was really intimidated going into the Peace Corps on being like, because it is so crucial you learn language. Different countries differ on this, but you have a test on your language. Some countries are really strict about you have to pass it. Some countries are a little more flexible. But for the most part, you do have to pass it. That's like how you were gonna do your job and converse and live.
No, I talked about that on this channel with you all a few weeks ago, that in Peace Corps Nicaragua, we had to reach at least intermediate mid in order to swear in as a volunteer. It was for Tetin as well. That kind of gives you an idea of like where the bar's at, but it's not like the end all.
Everyone has the ability, and I actually think it has to do with humility. I'm like, you just have to prepare to feel stupid, because you are gonna like, you are gonna be speaking like the pig Latin version of that language for your first couple months and whatnot, and like just run with it. Like just like the more you speak, the more you practice, the more you're open to feeling stupid, like asking a question like, what does this mean? Like what? How? Just like as long as you don't shy away from that, like you'll be fine. And
I think that's definitely like a certain confidence that Peace Corps gave me with learning Turkish now. I know that my Turkish sucks, you know, but like when I'm at home with my roommates, they only speak Turkish, and it's like, I just go for it. Like, you know, I use the words that I know. I hope that I'm conjugating them correctly. I just go for it, and I feel like I didn't have that much, you know, just being okay to mess up when I was a Peace Corps volunteer. So hopefully that gives you all an idea of what it's like both to learn a language during Peace Corps, but also if you're interested in learning a third language post-Peace Corps, maybe you're just a traveler. We should say goodbye in Turkish, shouldn't we? I'm gonna say görüşürüz.
Yeah, görüşürüz, iyi günler.
There's actually a lot of ways to say goodbye in Turkish. Hoşça kal, güle güle. Yep, all right. See you all next week. Bye.